Hey everybody, welcome to Old Style Classics Baseball Cards and Letters from Your Grandpa. I'm Rob. It's 1:21 a.m. December 30th, 2023. So down to our last 2 days. Got some stuff in the mail from eBay today. So technically, I guess it was 2 days ago. But anyways, last night we opened that last Allen and Ginter, and I got a second Brandon Woodruff relic card in a row from that Allen and Ginter blaster. So I basically got the same blaster twice. Ran out of cards to open, but today I got my eBays. And the two that the email showed that I got are over here. But this one is the one that I've been waiting for, I'm fairly certain. So I sent the boys, old Clinton and Bond and the Bushes and all them guys, to let them know, hey, I think I got my package here. So maybe they'll call in and join us and watch through the video here and take a look at that. So bet you guys would like to know what this is. And this is the one been waiting on. Did a good job packaging there from Missouri. But let's go ahead and take a look and see what we got here. No, of course I'm not going to show you guys that one right off the bat. What, are you kidding me? Come on. Alright, I got this one here. And then I also got this big giant one right here. So this one here though is something very, very much like that Josephine Scrivers or Danica Patrick. It's a nice card, trust me. So brought the other stuff to go ahead and go with that. So we'll see if them boys call in. They didn't really answer me what they were doing, if they were down there back in the desert working with the engine masters and old Steve Dolchek and Freiberger working on that president's limousine that they're trying to soup up. They were a little annoyed that I hadn't got this card yet. Well, I was annoyed too. So this one is gonna cover a few bases for me here. So this is from the Colony in Texas. Alright, so I'll tell you guys this right now, and unless it's something that I show in the binder after I open these cards, this is going to be a non-Allen and Ginter video. So there you go, for you guys who aren't into Allen and Ginter. Now, it may have some of my PC stuff in here, but this is this one particularly is some cards. Where do I start? This is one of my favorite other non-Allen and Ginter things. You know, I like Allen and Ginter and collecting all the different weird stuff that they do. I like Andre Dawson. But what's the other thing that I really like, people? Oddball cards. And who's my favorite oddball card company? That would be Michael Schenkner and Associates, MSA. Popularized in the 70s with the discs, like the Isley's discs, and through the 80s and 90s, King Bee discs, you name it. Jiffy Pop, Captain Crunch, and Donkey Kong, whatever, all kinds of different things. So this is a set that I actually already have, but you've seen it in one of my other videos. So this is a set of cards that was in my video of the stuff that I left in the chest at my brother's house in New Mexico. So you can see these cards, but those cards are all together in one sheet, and this is how you got those cards. obviously the product that you got these on, you couldn't just get a card on it. I guess they could have done a disc, but they didn't. So you would have to collect the proofs of purchases from this product and send in with the shipping and handling, and they would send you that sheet of cards. Now the sheet of cards was perforated so you could take the cards apart. So of course I never took those cards apart, which kind of, you know, I mean, I was a kid, I couldn't afford multiple ones, and I think you had to buy like 10 cans of this product to even order this. So I just got the one, and I wasn't going to break it apart. Of course, being in the 80s, you always thought, oh, your card's going to be super valuable, so don't break them apart. But that meant that I didn't get to have my PC card separated from that. And so now I went on eBay, and I was just going to order the single card, but then I saw the set being sold, and so somebody basically went ahead and broke apart that sheet of cards. And what we're talking about, folks, is the wonderful, not particularly good looking cards, because, you know, MSA, and I was saying that yesterday or the other day, MSA, you would like the starting lineup MSA Andre Dawson card that I got. Usually, like the Fantastic Sam's one, they would do it as cheap as possible so that the company who was giving the cards away, like Fantastic Sam's, could afford to do it. That's why they don't have logos. But then, like on the starting lineup, they obviously had to use the logos because it just would have made no sense not to have them. So anyhow, like Cracker Jack, what Cracker Jack used to say is the prize inside the Cracker Jack box would have to be at the cost of like a penny for it to be worthwhile for Cracker Jack to do it. That's why Cracker Jack, you don't get prizes anymore. You just get that little super stinky sticker and like a code to go online and play some games they have on their website. So that's one of the reasons why these cards aren't like the highest quality as far as looks go, but they are some of the best cards ever, I think, because they are right in line with what cards originally were, like your old tobacco cards and caramel cards and strip cards and original Cracker Jack cards and stuff like that. They were just an extra product that you would entice you to buy their product, like caramels and or Post cereal, and the kid would cut it out, or you would get it in your cigarettes or whatever, and that might get you to buy their product over somebody else's. So this, my friends, is the 1988 complete set, broken apart Chef Boyardee first annual collector's edition set of cards. And as I told you before, usually these cards would run in like 33s or 40s, but this set, apparently one sheet for MSA this year would create 24 cards. So out of one sheet, like the one you seen in my video, that sheet would get 24 cards out of, and that's what Chef Boyardee was willing to pay. So Chef Boyardee, you would have to buy the cans that had that, you know, hey, get yourself some 1988 first annual collector's edition baseball cards, collect 5 or 10 UPS proofs of purchases, and send $3 or something in with them to whatever address, and they'd ship you these cards. And you can see this is bent here, so this would have been the top left card. So like the corner cards probably is the ones that taken the hit. So let's take a look at what we got here. We'll take a look at this one first. So you can see that bin there. So this would have been, as you can see, there's no perforations on this side. Maybe there are here and here. So this was probably one of the cards on the edge, and so that's where Probably took a hit, but actually for MSA cards, those are pretty good looking. Let's see if we can get that in focus. Sorry, the air conditioner's running. They all went to bed. We just watched like a couple episodes of Alone, the last season on Hulu. We used to like that show when we had cable. So there you go, 1988 MSA, Players Association. Actually, for MSA, that's a pretty nice back. So there you go, Mark McGwire. That's the second year card. And that's card number 1 of 24. So Mark McGwire, not in great shape. It would be nice for a binder or something. But, alright, so I'll probably, I'll just go ahead and show you the front and back of these cards. Then we got Eric the Red, Eric Davis. Much better shape. You know, so these were perforated, and so the cards would have been put together on that little uncut sheet, but they had the perforations in there so you could break them apart, and then they would have a card below it and a card above it unless you were on the edges. So those cards would have been, and I never did that to my cards. So now I ordered me a set, and looks like they got these in order so far. So turn this upside down. So I'll give each card a moment in the limelight since there's only 24 of them, and then I'm sure one of them is going to get a little extra time in the limelight. So this one looks like it took a little bit of a beating. Yeah, there you go, Junk Wax Hero. There's your boy Jack Morris. I know you're a big fan. Of Jack Morris. I think you've started collecting his cards. I think I heard you say earlier today. So that's one Jack Morris card you might want to look into getting. Since you're collecting his cards, you might not have known about this one. So that's a nice oddball food issue. So yeah, I remember the old Chef Boyardee, the can, like the beefaroni and the raviolis, having just a little advertisement right on there. Just about yay big on the front of the can, like next to the Chef Boyardee logo. Free baseball cards, proof with purchase or something like that. It's got the MSA thing right there too. So, hey, this is from the wax era, so Junk Wax Hero would love this. Meh, I kid. But there you go, old Jack Morris there for the Tigers. 3 of 24. Guy who was on his way for a while but then fell off. Actually had a great 1987 season. Just not as good as McGwire and Dawson. But he ended up playing with Dawson for a while on the Cubs. But this is Toronto's George Bell. Hit 47 home runs in 87, so this is the card right after that year. I just love MSA. I mean, that's off-centered and everything, but I just love it. It has a logo on there, and, you know, think in another 50 years that's going to be like, you know, the 1914 Cracker Jack cards are to us today. I mean, I'm not saying they're going to be as valuable equivalently at that point in time, but it's just, yeah, I know they don't look as good as those either, but maybe that's a bad example. Maybe I should say this is going to be like the post-serial cards in the future, or the Hostess or something like that. Caramel cards or whatever. And that's super cool. Well, George Bell, number 4 of 24. I love that it's got the logo on there. Like I like that Ralston Purina cards. The Topps date in 84. These are basically the same quality that Topps, like those Ralston Purina or Serial Series cards. It feels like the same stock. It even has a similar look. So usually MSAs are a little more blander on the backs, but that one's pretty cool. Yeah, he was most valuable player in 87. So him and Dawson were the MVPs that year. So look, he had a good run there, 26, 28, 31, and 47 home runs, and then he just pretty good batting average, but then he fell off. He's from Dominican Republic, so that's cool. George Bell. Not a super fan of Ozard Smith, but he's a good shortstop. Exciting player. A lot of Cardinals fans love old Ozzy. Number 5 of 24. Then the great Mr. Tony Gwynn, Hall of Famer. Oh yeah, just kind of keep tabs here. Let's see, not a Hall of Famer, not a Hall of Famer, but superstars. Hall of Famer, not a Hall of Famer, Hall of Famer. So we're 3 for 6 with Hall of Famers up to this point. But there you go, Tony Gwynn. 6 of 24. You know, he's got some issues. Obviously, they're circulated cards, and I told you how I like circulated. Circulated in the sense that, yeah, you had to send in for them, so they are premium, I guess. They're more of a premium than, let's say, your typical oddball that came with the product. But they were circulated because they weren't like in an uncut sheet that wasn't like perforated or, you know, I guess what I'm trying to say is like that Topps card, that George H.W. Bush E-Topps card came directly from Topps in a plastic one-touch. So this was circulated in the sense that it was sent out to the people, and they would decide whether they wanted to keep it in a sheet or like this, but the sheets are hard to keep, and just being that 80s card stock, you know, hard to keep in good shape. Alright, then another Hall of Famer, there you go, Cal Ripken Jr., Orioles fans and Ripken fans. Sorry, the voice is a little off there. 7 of 24, Cal Ripken Jr. So, Hall of Famer. Solid superstar from the time, Todd Worrell. Pitcher for the Cardinals. Yeah, average there. He's got a good ERA, though. So, I don't know if he was a starting pitcher or what. Probably he's got a lot of innings pitched. Larry Parrish, so these were the guys that did good like in 87, and who knows if they fell off immediately. Texas Rangers, Larry Parrish, DH. That card seems to be in pretty good shape there. There's a little something there, but otherwise it looks pretty good. 9 of 24. Yeah, it's got some little surface issues, but hey, this is just a fun set. It's neat, and it's a different one. You know, it's maybe a little rarer than, say, even like the Jiffy Pops or, King B discs or any of that kind of stuff, because you would have to send in for it and pay the extra money for shipping, so maybe not as many people did it. So you're probably not going to see as many of these out in the wild as you would, let's say, the Kraft macaroni and cheese or 80s and 90s cereal cards. Gary Carter, Hall of Famer. It's on the Mets at that point in time. 10 of 24. All right. Then one of our other boys, the great Ryan Sandberg. So don't call him Ryan Sandberg from a Cubbies, second base, great. Number 23, Ryan Sandberg, 11 of 24. Won the MVP right there in 84 at this point in time. And 4 straight gold gloves. So, Hall of Famer Ryan Sandberg. Thank you, Ryan, for advocating for Dawson for the Hall of Fame. Keith Hernandez, dude that probably deserves to be in the Hall of Fame. Maybe someday he will get in if they would leave politics out of it. 12:24, so we're halfway home, folks, and we're already at 20 minutes, so may have to split this up into a couple videos. Maybe that's what I'll do. Hall of Famer Kirby Puckett, Minnesota Twins, right after they won the World Series. So Mr. Kirby Puckett, let's see what kind of high 200s, 300 hitter, 31, 28 home runs. So pretty solid. Had power. He's from Chicago. Had power and hitting ability. So, but you can see this got a bend right through there, and our corner bend here. So that's nice. Card for like a binder, you know. Probably wouldn't want to get that graded in maybe in 50 years. Alright, and then this guy will have a lot of fans. Mr. Mike Schmidt. So far the front of that card looks pretty good. Now the centering is not 100% on any of these cards, but I think that's just the way they were. And so, I don't know, do you, I know they were talking about, well, if a card's not 100%, being 100% compared to, let's say, another card that was 100%, that was a different card or a different product, then this shouldn't get a 10. Well, if all the cards were made a certain way, then isn't that the way that card was made? And they should grade on that scale. Is this a 10 compared to other cards in this set, the run of these cards? Obviously this one wouldn't be. The centering there is pretty bad on the left to right, but even compared to the, you know, maybe not. But you know what I'm trying to say, I hope. But there you go, Mike Schmidt. By 88, he had 530 home runs already. 270 batting average, but look, he only had 2,001 hits, so swinging for the fences, folks. Not really anywhere near 3,000 hits. So, and 11-time All-Star by then, 3 MVPs. So yeah, obviously going to be a Hall of Famer. 1330 home run season. So he's a kind of a, I don't see any gold gloves on there. He may not just had the room, but maybe a little one-dimensional, but solid. Mike Schmidt. Oh, Frank Viola coming off their World Series. Minnesota Twins. 15 of 24. He had a good run there, it looks like. I mean, 18, 16, 17 wins, not bad. Not great ERA. Oh, there you go. There's fisheye right there. But it's Frank Viola, so unless you're a super Frank Viola fan, that's okay. Alright, some of you guys are going to like this card. Who was one of the hot products back in the day. Mr. Don Mattingly, and that one looks in really good shape. The edges look pretty good, pretty sharp. Don't see really any print or surface issues there, or any bends or anything. Still got some gloss there. Back looks alright. And see, they're all basically the same. So, how do you grade this card? Are you considering that off-centered? Or is that just the way they are? But I don't grade, so I really don't care. I'm just commenting on the, you know, the take on what qualifies when it comes to grading. If not one of these cards was ever made to be perfectly centered, like a 87 Topps Don Mattingly card, and not one that came out was like that, then should you be comparing this to that card? It's like apples to oranges instead of oranges to oranges. Maybe you just take the best of the oranges and say, oh, well, for that, and that's the way they were all done. That's the way they meant them to be done. So that would be a 10, let's say. But I don't do grading, and I'm not a grading company, so. Alright, next is Dale Murphy. Who knows? Maybe someday. When I say that, I usually mean maybe someday they'll get in the Hall of Fame. Number 17 to 24. That looks in really good shape. Alright. I'm going to skip card number 18. Can you guess why? Because you're the detective and I'm the criminal. I'm going to show you that number 18 card at the end. This one's in pretty bad shape, so that's clearly not a 10, no matter what they meant. See the bins right there. Some more down here. Mr. Mike Scott, solid pitcher for the Houston Astros, the National League Houston Astros, back then Houston. Alright. Solid 15 to 20 win pitcher. Alright, this is going to be a little sad for some of you guys, but Ricky Henderson took a hit there. Been right down there. So, if you're a Ricky Henderson fan, that's just going to be good looking in your binder to have a, hey, now I have that Ricky Henderson card in my collection if you're the Super Henderson collector. It's a placeholder, I guess. So, Mr. Ricky Henderson, Hall of Famer. Alright, next one, there you go, there's another one. Jim Rice, that one looks pretty good shape. Looks to be in really good shape, to be honest with you. Back looks pretty good. 21 of 24. Alright, so Red Sox fans, that's pretty cool. You see how dark the image is there, you know, that's typical MSA and a food issue. You know, that's just the way you were, like if you got sunflower seeds. So, alright, for Wade Boggs collector, this one took a hit. Got a big bin right down the side there. So, unfortunately, the Wade Boggs is not high quality. It goes right on through the back there, so. But, lucky for you guys, it's just a Chef Boyardee card, so maybe this will be somebody's problem having it like that in 70 years when they're looking back on the 80s like we do the tobacco cards. So, but still, someday somebody might want this. They might be like, hey man, I want a Wade Boggs card. Always liked what he did and whatever, reading the stories about him or seeing videos, but I can't afford any Wade Boggs Tops or Flair or Dunross card. But hey, I could pick this one up. So that would be like that Mickey Mantle post cereal card that I just recently got. And some people like me may prefer this. They may like the oddball stuff better than the flagship kind of stuff that they do. Alright. Of course, Roger Clemens, he seems to be in pretty decent shape. Not great, there's some little issues there. But maybe some surface issues there, but it's still a cool looking card. Roger Clemens fan, I'm sure would love to have that in his collection. That's good. Would look good in a binder or maybe up on a shelf or something in the background. There's nothing wrong with that card. I'm sure you can find a better one, but alright, and then Fernando Valenzuela, you see him on the back and he took a big hit, so he must be one of the edge cards. So you can see there's no perforation along here or here, so I'm assuming he's the bottom right of the set. This is the worst condition one we've seen. So whoever stored this must have stored it before breaking it apart. It was probably in the sheet poster-like form. And this one got bent up somewhere and probably in a box or something. So that thing was probably the size of my little laptop desk thing here. But it's Fernando. I mean, he had a solid career, but not a Hall of Famer. From Navajo, Mexico. Born in 1960, Fernando. I didn't know he was 5'11". So there you go. And the main reason, other than me just wanting this set broken apart, because I only have the full sheet, was to add this to my PC, and that's Andre Dawson. So thank God, lucky for me, there's no bends or corner problems with it. Maybe a few little surface things, you know, like up here in the 1988. It's not perfect. Took a little wear there, and maybe a few shots here and there, but I'll take that, unless it was something really bad over his face. That looks like something's just on his forehead. But there's just a little bit of color loss on his collar there, and then maybe up here on the 88, but otherwise that's pretty nice shape. I believe he's on the middle right side of the set. He's either in the second or third row, probably the third row being card number 18. So if this whole thing here was the set, it would have been first row, second row, third row, so he would have been over here. Maybe it was 4 rows of cards, so it would have been in the third row, and then another row after them. So once again, not great centering, but I love that card. I love that card. It's not my favorite MSA version of Andre Dawson by any means. I think I kind of like that Superstars one because it's so simple. It reminds me so much of pre-war. But I really dig this. It does kind of have a very Topps kind of look to it, but with that basic MSA images. And sometimes he gets really darkened out, like that Jim Rice card. You know, it's like you could barely tell he's got a glove on right there. So he's got his batting glove on there, but it's so washed out by the contrasts or whatever that you can't even tell hardly. But super fan of this. Love to have this going right in the binder with my other Andre Dawson food issue oddball set stuff. And so that's a real nice one. And I do really like his King B jerky discs as well. But he's got some nice MSA cards. So there you have it, folks. That is my complete set of 1988 Chef Boyardee MSA complete set. What's the word? Uncut sheet, perforated and broken apart. So basically everything's the same. That one's pretty well centered though, if you, by all means. So there you go, Junk Wax. Jack Morris might be the best centered card of the whole lot. George Bell, Ozzie Smith, Tony Gwynn, Cal Ripken Jr., Todd Worrell, Larry Parrish, Gary Carter, Ryan Sandberg, Keith Hernandez, Kirby Puckett, Mike Schmidt, Frank Viola, Don Mattingly, Dale Murphy, the Hawk Andre Dawson, Mike Scott, Ricky Henderson, Jim Rice, Wade Boggs, Clemens, and Fernando. So real quick, 1, 2, 4, let's see. see, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12. So half of this set is Hall of Famers that I'm sure of. I'm not too sure about like a couple of those guys. I don't think so, but so this little set, half the set's Hall of Famers, and I think they're beautiful cards. I love them. I'm glad to add that to my collection. I don't know, I think I paid $5 or $6 to get this complete set. I know it's not in perfect shape, but I really don't care. I was like, I wanted it mostly because I want that Dawson card. But, you know, just to get this card by itself, and with shipping, it was only like $1 or something more to get the whole set, so why wouldn't I do it? So, alright, I'm super happy with that. So I'm going to cut this video off, and then we'll go on the other one after this. Rob at Old Style Classics Baseball Cards, signing out.